Erickson Lubin is once again bringing up the situation with Sebastian Fundora. And he didn't really say nothing after the fight. I don't remember when they fought. All right. And if you follow me on X, aka Twitter, and yesterday I couldn't remember when I did the Julio Cesar Martinez video for It's Poppin' Hot, and when I did the live, I couldn't remember. You know, Eddie Reynoso had a fifth fighter that popped hot. And shout out to the brother in the comment section who told me who that was, which was Luis Neary. I don't know if I forgot that. But Luis Neary was the fifth one. So Eddie Reynoso got a whole starting five of cheaters. Canelo got popped. Julio Cesar Martinez got popped. Ryan Garcia got popped. Oscar Valdez got popped. Well, I say Canelo, Ryan, Julio Cesar Martinez, Valdez, Neary. And also somebody brought up, like, Andy Ruiz magically got super duper slim when he joined Eddie Reynoso camp as well, too. So shout out to y'all brothers and sisters in the comment section. You know, and this seemed to be an influx of Mexicans that's been cheating. Not saying that the brothers don't. We had Willie Monroe. We had Jarrell Miller. You know, going back in the day, Roy Jones were taking Rip Fuel with about Twin Labs. James Toney. But, you know, it's still, you know, with a fan bringing up that Fundora back on Twitter again, or X, that Fundora was his gloves loaded. And Lubin, you know, basically did the thinking emoji. And at the end of the day, I say this. Fundora did come on the Boxing Voice and answer those questions like a man. Right? I forgot why he said he kept the glove on after the fight, and that was suspicious. Everybody like, why old buddy still, you know, got the glove on. But I say this, right? He's not had a performance like that since. You know, I say it again, he's not had a performance like that since. My Umar voice, he's not had a performance like that since. So when we start talking about Fundora, you know, his ability to, you know, fight, and he's a good fighter, but to be real, we haven't seen him fight like that since. We have not seen him have that ability like that since, bro. Let's call a spade a spade. So, with that being the case, him not generating that power and doing that damage to another opponent, you know, even with Tim Tszyu with one eye or blood going in his face, he didn't cause that cut, an elbow did, and that was on Tszyu fault. So, when you start to kind of think about it, you know, in retrospect, you start to ask, was his glove loaded? He kept his glove on after the fight. He's not inflicted or close to, you know, even where guys we think is less talented than Erickson Lubin, we haven't seen him inflict that punishment on another opponent like that since the Lubin fight. Even when he had an opponent that ran into his elbow and split his face open, he still never punched like that again. And maybe that say something about Lubin. Maybe say something about Lubin Chin, people will say, but like I said before, there's a lot of fishy shit going on in boxing. You think these guys ain't cheating and they sweeping up under the rug, and before you say, well, that's what the commission for. Well, the commission, a lot of people didn't feel wasn't catching Antonio Margarito. Well, who actually caught him was, rest in power to him, brother Nazim Richardson. Brother Nas got past the commission and he opened them wraps up, and that plaster fell out his glove. You know? So to be honest, it's been a history of Mexican fighters cheating, bro. And it's called a bean to bean. A recent history. Eddie Reynoso trained 5 Mexicans that all popped hot. And I got some more for y'all. David Benavidez went in on Canelo to Gilly and them. You know when a Mexican go in on another Mexican, y'all can call him mix or whatever. You know when a Mexican go in on another Mexican, you know, to mix company. He really on his neck. He went in on Canelo about Canelo taking that shit. But had that been Derrick James, Emmanuel Stewart, rest in power to him, brother Nazim Richardson, Andre Rozier, Barry Hunter, they had that many pupils that came across that came in his school and all was tied to Peds like that. You got to understand, the majority of them didn't really get any real serious punishment. So if it ain't no 3-strike rule, or I'm not gonna get significant punishment for cheating, Canelo got 6 months suspension. What's that? Nigga fight every 6 months anyway. And Triple G still wanted the money, and he still fought him. So these fighters, like I said before, drug testing it don't make no sense. If you Blair Cobb won and said, I want to fight Ryan Garcia, if y'all still gonna fight the ped offenders, why are we crying about peds? The fighters got the power not to take the power out of the peds offenders' hands. They can say, well, we ain't gonna fight him. Nope, I ain't fighting him. He on peds. They can literally box out a fighter for cheating. They can literally say, we just don't want to compete versus him. What, just in Hollywood, how you hear people say they sold their soul, or they sold their back door, or they sold their self to get into Hollywood. A lot of these dudes out here selling their self for cheaper. A lot of these fighters out here, I guarantee you this happened. I don't know no incidents, but I guarantee this happened. A fighter popped hot, and they wanted the fight to carry on, so they gave fighter A that was clean a bunch of money, and that fight carried on. I guarantee you that it's been drug test swept up under the rug. You could mark my words. I guarantee you they swept drug tests up under the rug outside of that Dillian White Oscar Rivas situation. And at the end of the day, it's going to be impossible for Lubin to prove that Fundora cheated. But the way his face swelled up in that fight and the damage he was inflicting in that fight, and then also some people alluding that he was on that shit too. You know what I'm saying? And the more and more I look at the arc of his career, the more and more I believe that I kind of believe something fishy was going on. I don't dislike Sebastian Fundora. I'm not one of them guys to say, well, you too big to be down there. You shouldn't. Nah, I got nothing against him. But the more and more I look at his performances and physically how versus Lubin, he peaked. And then, he admitted, I believe on the Boxing Voice, that they didn't do any drug testing for that fight. So I can believe why Lubin feel a certain type of way. I can definitely believe and feel like, why you don't let that go? You go on and watch this man be a world champion, and he inflicted damage that he didn't inflict on nobody else. Look at the guys that he fought. Nobody else. He had Tim Tszyu with a bloody face from an elbow, and he didn't get him up out of there. He was looking like a whole different level. He was inflicting a whole different level of punishment, a whole different level of pain and snap, and his punches was thudding a different type of way, versus Lubin, man. And I'm gonna speak on. I ain't gonna shy away from that. And like I said, this is all alleged. It's just me, my perception. Never seeing him mimic that performance again. Never see his punches with that snap again. Never with him that type of conditioning again. With the all them dudes over there with Eddie cheating, all these Jarrell Millers of the world, these dudes are not the anomalies. This is what it is, in my opinion. This is what it is. It's what it is, in my opinion. And me looking at Fundora in retrospect, bro, and I called it out when I did. Oh, yeah. Now, every time we call some shit out that look fishy, they always, oh, y'all black people always crying and complaining, and Lubin got beat fair and square. And I look at all these fucking cheaters walking around. And then when one do get exposed, oh, it don't matter. It didn't make a difference. They always trying to shame, black people into being quiet. They always trying to shame us into, oh, stop crying. It would have been the same result. Okay, if it's the same result, why you need that shit in your ass? They always want to shame us for telling the truth. Y'all, a lot of times, y'all got to cheat us to beat us. Come on, man. We got to come in clean. Y'all can come in dirty as a fat bitch's wash rag. Shit is crazy to me. You know, and nobody writing articles about Eddie Renasso. And nobody talk about this Sebastian Fundora story. Even in retrospect, you could talk about it because he's never came close to mimicking the conditioning he had in that fight, the power that he had in that fight, the speed that he had in that fight. He's never done it again. Maybe people say, well, he weight drained, he been at the weight too long, or maybe he just had a great night. Bullshit. They know what they did today. They know what they did versus Lubin. They know what they did versus Lubin. And I'm gonna stand on that, bro. I'm gonna stand on that, bro. I'm glad that he brought that back up. Cause Fundora ain't looked the same since. And why that glove ain't, I forget why he said the glove didn't come off, but he had an excuse for that. Or I don't want to call it an excuse, he had a reason for that. And to a man, you know, he didn't, and one of the reasons we gave him a pass, because as a man, he went to the Boxing Voice and answered all the questions. And I felt like, you know, for a man to do that and seem like he was being pretty honest, I mean, I'm all right, cool. But when you looking back at the fights that he had, he ain't looked that good since. He ain't came close to looking that good. So, you know, to each his own, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance. Get notifications. We go live and drop video. Financially, want to support the channel. Excuse me, Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Check out the Patreon. Shout out to everybody in there. Check us out on X, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Kick, Twitch, Facebook, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, the whole nine. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.